Hi, my name is Khaliq Glover, also known as Khaliq-O-Vision from mixingmagic.com, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite companies called Plug-In Alliance. Plug-In Alliance is a consortium of plug-in manufacturers who've come together to provide some of the most powerful music mixing plugins on the planet. This is kind of like back in the day before plugins, where all the best studios had the best hardware all under one roof. So you got a lot of different flavors and not just one sound from one manufacturer. I'm proud to be part of the alliance, and I've been given a sneak peek behind the scenes to a couple of new goodies, and they're super powerful tools for mixing. One is called BX Pan EQ, but I don't want you to panic because I want you to actually use Pan EQ. See how that tied in? Panic, Pan EQ. Okay. Anyway, Pan EQ allows you to surgically manipulate frequency inside the panorama of sound. So what that means is you could control things like unruly cymbals, for example, anywhere within the stereo image and bring it down or push it out without affecting the rest of the drum kit adversely, What about if you had things like a loop or something like that, a sample or a loop, and you want to pull something out specifically, a specific sound or tone of it, or push it back in. You can do that with this. Anywhere within the panorama of the stereo image as well as the frequency, And I want you to watch to the very end because I have a weird little trick that you can use to extract a completely different groove by using this plugin creatively. So let's take a look and play around with it. Okay, so let's talk about this BX Pan EQ. Okay, now I want you to take a look at this interface. This is the main area here in the center, and this is a little deceiving. It looks like there's one little knob here in the middle. You see the crosshairs and everything, but what I'm going to instruct you to take a look at over here is this area here, and you see this is where we activate it. See that word active? So we've got 3 buttons here that we can make active. So even though it seems like there's only one thing over here, we've actually got 3. And I'll show you because it's kind of surprising you because it's overlapping, okay? And we can solo each one of those bands that we make active as well, okay? We've got this knob here that says focus. We've got pan, and we've got a frequency knob here. We've got a Q knob here for bandwidth, and we've got a gain knob. And then down here, display speed. We'll talk about what that is, and output gain. I'm not going to mess with the output gain at all. I'm just going to leave it at 0. Okay, now I'm going to play this loop from a good friend of mine, Joe Gilder, and this is from a track he did. Okay, now I've just got this loop in with the toms and everything. You hear that. Now I want to go over here to this display speed here because we can see there's a lot of information here, but if you look at this, you can see a lot of information. Like when those crash symbols just came in, you could see them crash. See that? Energy over here, crash started on the right, and then on the left. Right, watch that. See that? Looking down in here you can see the snare beats. See the tom stuff. Here, look for that one tom. Doom, doom. See that over there? Doom, doom. And there's some overtones and everything. As low as down in here, all the way going up. And they got the lower tom down here. Check that out. But it's actually a little bit more over in here where that one is happening. You hear some other stuff up in here. So we're gonna take a look and see how this EQ can. We're gonna take a look and see how the EQ can mess with some of that stuff and pull some of that stuff in and out. Now this is a pan EQ, and like I said, this it looks like there's only one thing going on here. And we got these activate knobs. If I take that off, nothing's gone. Nothing's there. That's one knob. But let me take that off and do this. Now it looks like the same thing came back. But I want you to notice it's a different color. We have white here. Look at the crosshairs and the knob. It's white. Turn this one on. Look at the crosshairs. It's blue, and the knob is blue. And this one here, crosshair is green. So if I put all three of these on, it looks like there's still only one knob, but all three of them are actually on. They're on the exact same frequency, and everything is happening. So that can get kind of weird to fool you sometimes if you don't think. The reason being is that this EQ has no limits. So just because I have this one that's with the white crosshairs, and you see this corresponds to white and this is low, this doesn't mean that this has to affect the lows. This can go all the way up here and look at the frequency here, that's at 20K. And we can go all the way down here, which it takes it down to 40 hertz. And this is a pan EQ, so it does everything from hard right, hard left, center, and everything. But, you know, if we just deal with all this stuff and put this right back where everybody's, you know, normally was at, it seems like, you know, they're all kind of doing the same thing, but they're really not, you know. So let's go there. Okay, so let me take all these off for a second, and let's try one thing. I wanted to show you when I play this groove. Okay, we see all that going on here. So we can see some stuff happening here. This is the low. The frequencies are over here on this side, the left, starting at 40, working its way up, a big jump between 40 and 900, going all the way up to 20K. Okay, and then in the middle here is left, center, and right. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Now this knob right over here, this is display speed. I can use this, and if I dial it back, we're going to check out what it's doing. Really see what's going on, kind of where this is spreading towards the left or right. See that symbol, the crash symbol? Watch. So here, and you hear the toms where you can hear the toms where some of the things are going. We got something way down here and all that. So let's mess with some of these and see what's going on. So what I want to do first of all is we know we could see those symbols up top. Let's try, and what I like to do with this is even though there are no limits on these things, they are all exactly the same. They can go anywhere. For organizational purposes, I like to, if I'm going to play with the high end, I like to start up here because we're used to looking at EQ from high, mid, and low. So I'm going to do that. Even though I know there's no limit, I'm going to just at least start there so I can know where I want to start looking. Okay? So now that symbol that was doing the high crashes, we saw that was kind of above here, like around 10K or something like that. So let's put that up in there for a second and just see what we can do. Bring it out, bring things out. And I'm going to widen this up again. And see all that energy. So look how far out this is. There's this little knob here. It's going to be interesting that we're going to go with. It's called focus. Look, I want you to look down here at the bottom. You see it widening when I do that, and narrowing. So for this one, just to capture that kind of area, I'm gonna, leave it about here maybe. Then let's mess around and see what's going on with that high end. So since we know we're up here around 10K, we could take this, and this is pan EQ. Let's take this EQ and move it over here and get that high symbol that's on the right, crash symbol. And let's notch that down a bit. See if we can notch down the frequencies a bit. And here's bandwidth here, so I can just take a listen. See how much darker it gets when I make it a wider bandwidth. You see it over here. See it's covering all that. And when I do this, it's getting more pinpoint in there. Narrower bandwidth. Okay? Now I could also use that. I'm muting that one symbol on the. What if I wanted this symbol on the right to be a little bit brighter than the one on the left? Stick out, poke out a little bit more. I can do that too. So you see how I did that? It also brought out some of the other stuff that was there as well. So knowing that with this pan EQ, you could do some things like bring out something, and then I could engage another one that, because it brought up the snare and things like that, I could also control that as well. And so bring out just the snare, and I could get some, just the cymbals up here, but because the high end and the snare overtones are up in there too, I could use this to control some of that for the stuff in the center. But let me turn this one off and go back here and put on the solo. So you hear what's going on over there. Let's pan it over to the left side a little bit and see what's on this side. Okay. And I can widen this out. Check it out. Hear more stuff coming there. Narrow it down. Just put it right somewhere in the middle. Okay, so let's do this for a second. Take it off a solo. I'm boosting the high end now. Let me take it off for a second. Let me put it back in. So if I wanted to have some more of that stuff, I want to go even higher for some air up there and more on one side or the other, I can do that. Okay, now with that being done, let me take this back down closer to like 10K or whatever. Now, and I want to show you something, because this is where you can use this to affect the groove you with. We got that tom groove. Tom groove is going, but what if I want to not hear the snare and those cymbals and all that high end stuff quite as much, because I want a little more of that low mid stuff. Hear the tom sound, get a little more of that Indian thing going. So I could do that and make this a wider bandwidth to affect more things, to get a little more of that high end stuff out of there. If I took too much out, I can pinch this down some more over here. Let's see, you can hear that tom pretty good. Okay, so I got that. Now say if I like that, okay, I muted enough of this stuff up here. Now I'm hearing this one, and it's slightly over to the left, okay? So let's see if we can find that and boost it out a little bit. So I got this second one in here, the blue. Now just listen to the overtone. Hear the... I'm down in 2K, coming down. Now listen to something real interesting in there. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a little whistle tone we're going to pull out a little bit and see if we can hear that. I'm making it. No. Listen, hear that little tone. Let's move. Hear some other tones. That's interesting. So we can hear some little weird whistle tones. Let's see what's on the other side. I don't like that little weird whistle tone. So what if I found that, pulled that down out of that, just that on that side? So could you hear what happened there? I pulled that little whistle tone. I pulled the little whistle tone out, down just a little bit here. Let me bypass. So I'm muting some of the stuff that's going on up in here. And I'm also pulling out that whistle tone a little bit. Okay, that's one approach we could do to clear it up. Or what if I say, okay, well, now this is where you got to be careful. Remember which one you're on. Because see, we were on this blue one. But we get up here, now we're on the green one again. So what if I say, okay, well, I still like the high end, so let me put a little bit more of it back. I want to mute it down a little bit, but maybe not too much. A couple ways I can do it by doing it that way or using this cue. See, that mutes it a whole lot, or I can affect it a lot less by narrowing this cue here. The focus is, you see how far to the right and left that is, how wide that is, but I can use that as well. Okay, so I can use that to control some different things. Let's zero in on something else now. Let me go back to this solo of just this middle one here. See, that's that little whistle tone I was taking out. Let me narrow this down. This display speed. See, so you really can redistribute the energy anywhere you want. See where the weird harmonics, offending tones are? And you can get rid of them or add to them and widen them up, you know, narrow them down. See? Like I say, okay, well, I found that area that sounds a little weird to me, so let me pull that down out of them toms and make it a little less offensive. Okay, you know, so there's a lot you can do with this to kind of dial in and craft what's going on with this. Okay, but let's look at something else too. Okay, let me turn these off, for example. Now, I'm hearing, you know, like I got that other tom, but what about the low tom? What if I wanted to say, add a little more of that low tom to get a little more of that, you know, just kind of a different groove or the Indian feel going. Okay, so let's see if we can find that. And like I said, just for my sanity, even though it doesn't matter, we could grab any one of them. But I'm going to grab this one down here low to start messing with the low. Okay, so let me solo that. Well, let's take a listen before we solo. So it's way down. Let's go down. So we still hear both of them, the mid ones. So it's lower than that. Here we go. You hear that? And this is a little more over here to the right. Okay, so let's try tightening that up for a second. I'm gonna go extreme so you can just hear what's happening. Now let me widen it up a bit. You hear that? So you hear we got that low thing. It's a whole different feel now compared to the other one. See if I widen it. Listen to it. I just want just that frequency. What about the focus? So we can take it in. Move. See over here. Now we're moving that low. Or bringing it a little closer to the center, even though the actual sound is more over here. creeping it around just what we want. I'm just going to leave it exaggerated for a second. What if we did? What if we did this? Okay, so of course I wouldn't do that much, but I'm just kind of exaggerating to show you what's going on. But here's the other thing too that we can do with this. Pretty interesting because you can use that. Just add some of the other ones in here. Look how much it changes just from narrowing and widening. Go up here for a second. We could even get creative and crazy. Like I said, I could get my little thing going on here with the whistle tones. You could do something like this and blend it in with a parallel track. Find a little weird frequency if you wanted to pop it out, and you could get a little busy with it. I have fun with this, There's, no rules or whatever. I wouldn't go this far on this particular song, but you could if you thought it called for it. Have fun with something like this because it's a whole different way. This is a wonderful time that we are living in now with all these plugins with different options where you can get creative. There's nothing to say that you have to do EQ anymore like you used to, turn to a fixed frequency and do straight booster cuts with static, bandwidth, and you don't have to be limited anymore. These things can go anywhere and not just up and down in the frequency spectrum. They can go left and right in the pan as well and get just what you want. Pull things out, get things out of the way of other things. You can get some tones out. I played with this, and one of the things, like I told you, is you can work on some of the offending tones that might be in there when you've got a composite thing. It can really work and do wonders for clearing up something in a way that normal EQ doesn't. So anyway, I hope this gives you some ideas. This is not meant to be an exhaustive thing. This is just me kind of having fun and playing around. But you know, this is a great thing. We're Plugin Alliance, and this is the BrainWorks part of Plugin Alliance, which is really their flagship plugins that Dirk, he always hits it out the park with these plugins. Thinking outside of the box. This is why I love this company, because they do different stuff. It's not more of the same old, same old. There's a lot of power here if you just use your imagination. So anyway, this is Khaliq Glover from mixingmagic.com, and I will check you out later. Bye.